Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today and for all the amazing support you've been giving to this channel. It truly motivates me to keep creating content that not only helps you improve your English, but also makes you think about different aspects of life. Today, we're going to talk about something that has become a huge part of our lives: social media and its addictive nature. I think this topic will resonate with many of you, and as we explore it together, I hope it will be both useful and thought-provoking. Plus, listening to this podcast will definitely help you practice your English listening skills. Let's start with a question. How much time do you spend on social media every day? Be honest. If you're like most people, it's probably more than you'd like to admit. I'll share a little about my own experience. A few months ago, I realized that the first thing I did in the morning was check my phone. Not to turn off the alarm, but to scroll through Instagram, Twitter, or whatever app caught my attention that day. Before I knew it, 20 or 30 minutes had passed, and I hadn't even gotten out of bed. It was like my brain was wired to seek that instant gratification. Those likes, comments, and updates. I remember one particular day when I decided to pay attention to how often I reached for my phone. It was shocking. I wasn't even aware of how automatic it had become. I'd check my phone while eating, while watching TV, even during conversations with friends. One moment really stayed with me. I was sitting at a cafe with a group of friends. Instead of talking to each other, we were all on our phones, scrolling through apps, liking pictures, and replying to messages. It felt strange, almost as if we were together, but still completely disconnected. That moment made me question how much of my life I was giving away to social media. Was I using it as a tool, or was it using me? That's when I decided to take a break. I challenged myself to stay off social media for 1 week. At first, it was really hard. I kept feeling this urge to pick up my phone and check what was happening online. I'd find myself opening apps out of habit, even though I knew I had nothing to look at. But after a few days, things started to change. I felt calmer, more focused, and surprisingly more creative. I started noticing small things around me. The sound of birds in the morning, how the sunlight came through my window, or how good it felt to sit and enjoy a meal without distractions. I began spending more time doing things I truly enjoyed, like reading, journaling, or going for walks. One of the most rewarding parts of this experience was how it improved my relationships. Without the constant distraction of my phone, I found it easier to have meaningful conversations. I was more present with the people around me, and that made a big difference. I realized that while social media connects us in many ways, it can also make us feel isolated when we overuse it. Now, don't get me wrong. Social media has its benefits. It allows us to stay in touch with loved ones, learn new things, and even share our own ideas and creativity with the world. The problem arises when it becomes a distraction from real life, when it starts controlling how we spend our time. That's why it's so important to find a balance. For me, that balance means setting limits, like not using my phone during meals or turning off notifications for certain apps. So, what about you? Have you ever felt like social media was taking over your life? Have you tried taking a break or setting boundaries? I'd love to hear your experiences and any tips you might have for using social media more mindfully. Let's start a conversation in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else to make a positive change. Before we wrap up, if you enjoyed this podcast and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Take care and have a great day.